Greetings, Mythics. How are we all? Yes, it is another Saturday. It's 10 AM, there or thereabouts, UK time. My name is Ken Boyter. This is Loquacious. You are watching the Edra Tales Twitch channel, but we also have an Edra Tales YouTube channel. Yes, if you want to catch up on any episodes that you may have missed and you prefer to watch it on YouTube, we have a YouTube channel. Just go to Edra Tales over on the tubes of you. Yes, so what have you guys been up to? Is anybody watching? Not yet. I'll just sit and ramble on my own then. Just gonna have a nice cup of tea with a bit of honey in it. Yes, what have you guys been up to creatively? What have I been up to creatively? And what else are we going to talk about? We're just going to ramble on for 45 minutes. I do other shows. Wednesday evenings we do playthroughs of game books. And currently we are doing The Ghosts of Craven Manor by Joseph Daniels. Good morning, Jonathan. Good morning. How are you, sir? So we do game book reviews, not reviews, playthroughs, but they're kind of like mini reviews, I guess, because we do comment on how good the game book is or not, depending on if it's good or not good. Good evening or good afternoon, Lee Rin. How are you, sir? Yeah, we're doing well. Thank you very much. Jonathan is okay. I'm creating the adventure map for the book I finished this week. I do like a good bit of map creating. How do you do your maps then, Jonathan? Do you draw them out, or do you just write, the name of, say that's, Banshee's Forest, and over here is, do you actually draw them out and then an artist does it, or do you actually just do the final thing? Good morning, Sally. How are you? So so Wednesday evenings we do a game book playthrough. We have done some of Ace game books as well. So currently we're doing The Ghosts of Craven Manor. It will be part 3 this Wednesday at 6:30 PM UK time. And then I do normally a Friday video game playthrough. At the moment we're doing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. However, last night I was actually acting in a murder mystery, so I couldn't do it. Jonathan has put here, sorry, this is a flow chart. Oh, for the editors to check the adventure. Oh, right. This is really... Oh, I see a map. Yeah, a flow chart. Yeah. Right, hang on then. So the editors... So you give them the flow chart that you've been working from that tells you the branching narrative. And then, they go through and check to see if it all makes sense? I'm very thankful for a line. Yes, absolutely. I know that Sally has had an immense month. Very, very busy. Sally has been. She's had a lot to pack in. And she was up early the other day, Friday morning. So Jonathan's put, I have drawn my own maps and hand other the artist to draw them for me. So sorry, you've got two things going on then. So you've got the flow chart that you hand over to the editor as well, and then you draw the maps for any actual location maps. When they are editing the adventure, it means they don't need to solve the puzzles themselves to work out. Oh, I see, yeah. So they're just going to the flow. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Imagine that. Like, how long did it take you to edit a game book? Oh, about 6 months. What was that? Well, I couldn't get that puzzle. I just couldn't get that clue. Of course. So you're giving them all the secrets. You're giving them the whole thing. They can say, right, this goes to 98. And then if it's a mistake, it'll be like, hang on, this doesn't flow. 98 is meant to be when you go into the woods. This just says about when you fell down a hole. Right. So that is very useful then, isn't it? I guess that's why it's really good to do a flow chart right from the beginning, because it helps you plan it and it helps you at a glance see if it's going to go wrong. Clever. Because that's what I've been doing. I started creating the flow chart and I think I'm about 150 entries planned of the game book. And so in your head, you know, you're sort of following one thread, obviously, and that's going there, and then that goes there. And it kind of is easier to see it, to see that it's actually correct. So there we go. So those of you that don't know, I think you all know, but the game book that is funding at the moment, Devilish Dilemmas to Kill a Thief on Kickstarter, grab your free sample if you haven't already got one. We've fully funded. We've fully funded. So thank you so much. Really appreciate that. We funded on Wednesday evening. And I've just been so busy, I haven't actually had a chance to really email people about this, but we've fully funded. We're on 102% now. 40 backers. Yes, thank you, Sally. 40 backers. Woo! And we've raised £2,059. So that's fantastic. So obviously we want to keep pushing because we want a security blanket. Because obviously if people change their mind, they cancel or whatever. I don't feel like they will. But if they do, we don't want it really to drop below the 2,000 because I kind of need that 2,000. That's kind of what I planned for. Okay, so Jonathan has put here, very quick typing. I was really disappointed with the map that was drawn for Spellbreaker. Oh, okay. It wasn't very different from the simplistic one I supplied. Oh, really? Leo Harris wasn't the cartographer, unfortunately. Therefore, I drew the map for Knights of Doom, and they used it. Oh, that's cool. So, I always draw the maps for... So, I also drew the maps of Curse the Mummy and Bloodbones, did you? That's brilliant. I was even commissioned to draw the map for Revenge of the Vampire. And I did some of the Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay campaign, The Dying of the Light. Jonathan, that's a little hidden talent there. I guess like you, when you saw my cover, you're like, oh, I didn't know you could do that. Well, I didn't know I could really do that. I can do my pen and ink sketches, which you guys have seen over the years. And I thought, right, I need to do the cover full colour. So I did the sketch. I did the pencil sketch. And then I went, right, I'm going to bring it into Photoshop. Now, the only other time I did it on Photoshop was years ago when I coloured in some of Rich's pictures just to see what they would be like in colour. And I looked to see how Rich had coloured it in, and I thought, oh, it's actually... So say you want to put shade on it, you take the colour, the base colour, so say all of that was yellow, then you just take a darker shade or a lighter shade of that yellow, and that gives you the 3 dimensions. But there you go, drawing maps. I'm still toying with the idea of illustrating an RPG myself, rather like Ollie Mack, except there's no money in RPGs, at least not for me. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? I guess if you want to do it, this is the age-old question. Because we're creative people, we kind of end up doing things anyway, sort of regardless if there's money in it or not. However, the aim, if you do want to become a full-time writer, or you are a full-time writer, or a full-time illustrator and artist, is you need to be making money. So it's kind of that catch-22. Would you say, because I know Ollie's just started, is that an RPG then that Ollie's doing? Or is that like another one of his Story Master's tales? Because Ollie's are an interesting game book because they're not full-on game books, but they're not full-on RPGs. They're like a hybrid. So, you know, where he's got a map and you visit the locations are already planned out for you, so you know which one you can go to, and then you discover what's there. Oh, the Box of Delights RPG is a classic case of that. I've spent many, many hours working on it, but I won't have made a penny from it. Oh, that pains me. It's by the time it's actually published, and I doubt there's so many copies after that. Oh no, feel for you. I guess that's the case of that. Yeah, I guess there's some consolation, obviously not monetary then, if you feel like you're not going to make any money out of it, that you love the project. You know, you obviously love Box of Delights and you wanted to get in and do something with it. So at least you got satisfaction from that. However, there is still that sort of slight bitter taste, is there? That you're like, oh, but it's not done as well as I thought. Jonathan's better. My son asked me how much I earn per hour. I'm going to work it out for the book I've just finished. I expect to be less than the minimum wage. Yeah. Yeah. That is a shame. Yeah, exactly. That is a shame, Sally. That's the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing. I guess it's like acting. You've got the small percentage at the top that do earn the big bucks. You know, the very famous people that do earn the big bucks. And then you've got all these actors that are working actors that do plays, do corporate role play, like me, you know, do murder mysteries, that earn money, but when you work it out, it's not a lot of money. I should have canned the box RGP ages ago. Yeah, I guess it then becomes very frustrating, and you kind of don't want to finish it. Have you actually finished it then? Sally's put here, haha, I feel the same about teaching. If I actually worked out the hours, yes, that is very true. So I wouldn't like to think about how much I get paid per hour. That is very true. I guess with teaching, at least you do get a relatively good salary at the end of the month. However, obviously I know how many hours you actually do work compared to what you're meant to work. So yeah, it's very similar, absolutely. It's been a bit it's been a bit like HS2. I've spent a certain amount of money already, yeah, therefore you should keep going with it, yeah. I don't want the reputation of being finicky and not complete. That is very true, actually, Jonathan. Yeah, you've got a reputation to upkeep. Because you've delivered on everything you've promised, haven't you? The Box of Delight RPG is being laid out at the moment. Fantastic. I'm hoping to have at least PDF out in time for Christmas. Well, that's fantastic. Fingers crossed. Yes, I'm grateful for regular pay. Yeah. That's the thing. That's the thing. I think this is where it's doubly... Not that this is a competition, but obviously if you're creative... you know, it isn't a regular salary, so you are relying on sales, which is why sales then become very, very important. With teaching, oh yeah, of course, because Jonathan, you were a teacher, weren't you? Compared to people the same age who've gone into the professional sectors, the pay just doesn't compare. Yeah, no, absolutely. My pay is either feast or famine, so thank goodness my wife is teaching full time again. Yeah, no, absolutely, it's a similar. So I was a full-time graphic designer, and I was on, so this was 2008, I was on £38,000 a year in 2008, and you know, I'd probably be on 50-60 grand a year now. You know, I was pretty much running the studio anyway, so I probably would be running a studio now, you know, all those years of experience. Doesn't bear thinking about, does it? Your pay, yeah, your pay is either feast or famine, yeah. However, I just got burnt out with graphic design in the end, and I just felt like I didn't want to do it anymore. So I'm actually really grateful that I've had this opportunity to then explore my creative projects. And although it doesn't pay hardly anything at the moment, I'll keep thinking I'm going to hit the big time. I don't know. I probably am happier than if I had just stuck with graphic design. I don't know, because obviously I didn't stick with graphic design. Leaving has put, I was talking to Dad about the Van Gogh exhibition. Yeah, fantastic. On loan from the Van Gogh Museum. I went to a Monday, which included a self-portrait of the maestro himself. Fantastic, yeah. Sally's put, yes, I'm reminded of that when I look at friends who are in professional sectors. Yeah. Yeah. How's Claire finding it, Jonathan? Yeah, yeah, full-time teaching must be difficult. It wasn't until 2 years ago that I earned as much as I did when I left teaching in 2007. Wow. Wow. Yeah. You know, and are you purposely trying to destroy my dreams, Jonathan? Because, you know, I look at you, Jonathan, and think, wow, you've got a game book coming out each year, maybe 2 a year, I don't know, a game book, and then you've got an RPG, and then you've got, you know, you've been commissioned for writing and all of that. And you're just saying, yeah, it's still difficult to make a living. It's like, ah. She's loving it, but she works till about 10. Yeah, exactly. And that, to me, is the government taking the... No teacher should be working till 10 o'clock. Yeah, and she's in the morning too. Exactly. That, to me, is exploitation. That is exploitation. You know. And in all seriousness, I did at one stage consider being a teacher. But I looked at all the red tape and I wasn't very good with authority back then either. And I just went, nah, this is not for me. I know I'm going to clash. I know there's stuff I don't want to do. I don't want to fill in a spreadsheet with this on it and that on it and tick boxes. I just don't do it. So I knew I'd be clashing all the time. So I just thought, no. Jonathan's put here, I also enjoy writing but have to keep churning the books out because I can't live off the royalties you earn. Yeah, but that's really, I guess, the secret is you have to keep doing that. I'm too old to go back to teaching now. I find it too exhausting. Yeah. Honestly. But the good thing about it, Jonathan, is you have built up that fan base over the last 10 years, you know, which is, I think, is amazing. You raised, what, 18 grand in your last Kickstarter, 19 grand, which is absolutely commendable. It's amazing achievement. And hopefully, you know, you just keep building on that. And this is what I'm hoping as well. I'm looking to you, Jonathan, as the model, as the roadmap to success. You don't see many teachers over 50 in the classroom these days. It's not a career for life anymore. No, that's right. People just get to a certain age, you know, and they just go, yeah, we've had enough. I'm out of here. And also, I heard a statistic a couple of years ago saying how it's the highest rate of teacher graduates leave the profession after 5 years of becoming a teacher. So they join, become a grad, you know, train, go into teaching, and then they leave within the first 5 years. So what does that say? What does that say about the state of teaching at the moment? When Lyrian's put it, when solving the gentle orange sunlights, when savouring the gentle orange sunlight, reflecting off a golden collage of post-rain sunset clouds, one briefly compares the warmth and love Van Gogh's sensitive heart feels for the world in his 37 short years. That is very prophetic, very profound. Absolutely, he did care. He was a very sensitive soul, from what we gather. He was a priest before he became a pater, and he got kicked out of the church because he followed the church's teaching. And what I mean by followed was because he was a priest. Apparently, he had like nice things. So, you know, he was given nice things, and the church had nice, you know, I don't know, crosses and nice things. And apparently he was in a poor area, and he used to give away, you know, gold cups and go, well, the church doesn't need this. You know, you're poor, go have that, go spend that. So he used to give away all the church paraphernalia, and and he got sacked because of it. And it's like, hang on, but you said that we got to help the poor. This is a direct way that I can help the poor. And they went, no, not like that, though. Not like that. So, yeah, Yeah. So without getting too down about being creative, but this is the dilemma that loads of creative people, you might have it, Jonathan, I've got it, where we can't stop but create. We have to create. And so what do you do with that? You create it, but then I guess there's that expectation as well. So for me, I want people to enjoy what I do, and I hope that it's of a standard, that it's good quality, that people can enjoy it. If I play the violin, I'm rubbish at playing the violin. I've never trained. I don't then expect people to enjoy it because I know that it's not of a good standard. So it's the same in my writing. I think hopefully it's of a good standard where people should be able to enjoy it, and not get bogged down by its bad writing or it doesn't really entertain them or anything like that. And then I'm hoping that we find that audience. And, I've been very encouraged, actually, with this Kickstarter. I've been very encouraged. 40 people, so thank you if you are one of those 40 people that have backed it. I think you all are, actually. So it's one of those things where, although it's only 40 people, that's not a lot, is it? 40 people, really, in the scheme of things. However, that now has given me that boost to go, actually, we've got 40 people that would like to read this book. To me, that's brilliant. That's amazing. So I wanted to finish this book anyway, but now there's that extra incentive for me to actually finish it and get it to the printers and then get it into the people's grubby little goblin hands. Just insulted my audience there. Lovely. That's why he's still my hero. Yeah, absolutely. I remember, sort of getting into Van Gogh's work and finding out about him. Have you read the letters that he wrote to Leo? There's a book that's got all the letters that he wrote to Leo and his brother Leo, and his brother wrote back to him. And that's a real insight into his psyche and into sort of what person he is, or what his beliefs were with art, and why, and it was such a tragedy because he was way ahead of his time. He sold, I think, 3 paintings in his lifetime. 3. And the guy now is considered one of the greatest painters that has ever been, and a genius. And sort of started the Impressionist movement. It was kind of more Manet and Cézanne and Monet that were kind of more slightly before him, but he kind of dovetailed in, certainly as one of the most famous Impressionist painters that the world has ever seen. So it just goes to show you don't quite know what effect you're going to have on the world. Imagine if he'd given up. I'm going, I've done 10 paintings, I've done 20 paintings, I haven't sold any, I'm going to give up. What classics would we have missed? Starry Night may never have been painted. The Sunflowers may never have been painted. Workers in the cornfield may never have been painted. And if you look back at his early work, it was very photographic. It's very traditional art. And there's a brilliant picture that he'd painted of a skull smoking a cigarette. It's a brilliant image. It's a skull smoking a cigarette. Very realistically done, not like the Impressionist style that we're used to seeing him. So his early work, so from that you know that he's an excellent draftsman, and he can paint in the more traditional style. So there we go. Anywho, there we go. We just ramble. We talk about all sorts on this show, all sorts. Very Franz Kafka. Yeah, Kafka was... Yeah, absolutely. Kafka was another one. I think... Did he have anything published? I can't remember. Didn't really have much published. And, from all intents and purposes that I know of Kafka, quite unhappy about it. And, but he just loved writing, so he'd just write and put his, just get it out of his system. So, that's why you kind of go, yeah, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do this. So, for me, to raise over £2,000 as an unknown author, I think I'm very, very happy with that. So thank you, Sally, for suggesting lowering the gold. I kind of had decided that myself, but you confirmed it for me. I went, yeah, I was thinking that as well. So thank you for that. Because initially I thought, oh, I don't know, let's do $6,000. Because I hadn't worked out all the rewards and that, and I thought, well, I don't want to, you know, come up short. So there we go. So yeah, trying to raise $6,000 as an unknown author is maybe a bit too ambitious. But $2,000, that was doable. We have done that. And I'm hoping now to build upon that audience. And it would be good, actually, to, you know... Yes, it's very... Weirdly enough, Jonathan, people have mentioned to me that I should do an RPG of the game book, or an RPG set in that universe. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that is possible. I do think, though, I've not delved into RPGs enough to really know this, but you've obviously got the daddy of them all, or the mama of them all, which is Dungeons and Dragons. Then you've got the next one, I guess, the next most famous one, which is Pathfinder. And then you've got, you know, the others. And again, it's a saturated market. So if you're into role-playing games, do you tend to just stick to one system? You know, if you got into Pathfinder, you'd just stick with Pathfinder. And you just continue to play Pathfinder because you know the rules already. You're just getting into different campaigns and different stories and scenarios. Whereas if you then have to flit about, it feels like that, yeah. If you have to flit about and go, oh, what's this RPG? I'm not sure people want to take on a whole new rule set. Yeah, a new RPG launched on Kickstarter every day. Every day. See, that is fierce competition. I mean, there's a lot of game books published, but nowhere like that. And actually, you know, Jam and I don't know where Jam is today, and Martha. Where's Jam and Martha? Yeah, so Jam and I launched roughly at the same day. We didn't plan that. I didn't know he was launching one in October. I picked October because I thought, oh, that's a good month for me to do it, for various reasons. And yet we were both funded. So, you know, there's room for both there. It's amazing how many come out and then have no additional supplements or support. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine that's true. It's still releasing... So Jonathan's still releasing new stuff for the Twas RPG, which is really just vanity project now. Yeah, but at least you're still supporting it. And I guess that was maybe the massive secret, not secret, but the success of Dungeons and Dragons is, yes, they were the first, so that's going to establish them as the market leader. But then they continued to bring out different campaigns, didn't they? They continued to support it. They then brought out a monster manual, you know. So, yeah. Well, that's interesting. Maybe I won't go into an RPG. What I really want to do, and I'm trying to put it off, because I've got far too many projects on the go, and other ideas as well. What do you think to this then, Jonathan, and Lee Rin and Sally and anyone else that's watching? I'm doing a straight game book, so it's going to be like Jonathan's books, Ace Game Books. It's going to be like, you know, this game book. It's like the Fighting Fantasy Lone Wolf, the Osborne series, where it's a book, yeah, and you read the entries, and then it says, do you want to go to the Darkened Wood, or would you rather go to the blacksmith? Oh, I'll go to the blacksmith. Turn to page 28. And you just go through it like that. There'll be dice rolls, but it's all in the book. And then you've got the adventure sheet at the back, you know, and you fill in, oh yeah, but I've lost some health or whatever. So this is what this is, okay? But I am very tempted to make a sort of board game version of it. Where I really enjoyed playing that Choose Your Own Adventure. So it's basically taking that, but I had this idea before I played that, but that's just confirmed that it can work, where everything's on cards, and you read out the story on cards. I mean, it might be that you get a little book and you read through each entry on the book. However, when it says you find a weapon, a sword, yeah, I've seen some game book board game hybrids. Yeah, I think it feels like that's an emerging sort of subgenre. Isn't Seventh Continent like that? Oh, I've not played that. Yeah, I've not really played many of these, but yeah, but you've got the Advanced Fighting Fantasy as well that's just sort of coming out or hitting Kickstarter or whatever. So again, I think that's similar. And so yeah, you go through it, and then so when it says pick an object up, you find an apple, and you go to the objects deck and you look through and go apple, and then you found a healing potion. You look through healing potion. And, or you go to a shop and it says, do you want to buy a sword? You go, yeah, and you get the purchase deck. And do you see what I mean? So it's like a bit like Talisman as well. If you're going to do that, you have to research the market and see, what's been done already. Yes, that is very good advice, Jonathan. Thank you. Yeah. It keeps coming back to me. And sometimes if ideas keep you put them off and it comes back to you, put it off. I don't know. It feels something I do want to explore. However, what I'd like to do, what I'm sensibly doing, is trying to establish myself as a game book author. So that, maybe 1, 2, 3 game books. And then maybe I do that, because then people go, oh yeah, he delivered on his game books, less ambitious, if you like. And we really enjoy them and, get a little following and then launch that. But it's something that's just it's niggling away in the back of my head. Leerin's put here, one nostalgic way to play an RPG session when I was 12 was me reading out the entries. Yeah, there you go, of a fighting fantasy game, but like a dungeon master, and roll for the monsters. While my little cousin made the choices, and makes all the rolls for the heroes. Oh, that is so cool. That's kind of, in a way, Ollie's game books are sort of like that, where the family can play. Jonathan Scott, I have several ideas for new projects. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I know. I thought of a whole new board game as well the other day, and I was like, where did that come from? But I'm not launching another Kickstarter until I've delivered the 2 that still need to be finished. Oh, okay, that's probably very sensible, yeah, because if you keep doing it and you've not finished the other ones, you are just going to... Yeah, you'll never catch up then, I guess. Bonjour, Jam is here. We've just been having a big debate about creativity and, sort of, does it pay, does it not pay? Why do we do this sort of thing? Game books. In this way, and RPGs we're talking about, every FF book can potentially be a 2-player experience. Exactly, Lirin. Well, this is why I do the game book playthroughs, because I read out the entries and then the audience, in the comments, they vote for which one they want to choose. So it absolutely works like that. You have summoned Jam, I have, yes. And out of the ether, a shadowy figure appeared. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And I did that a while ago. I said, right, what am I focusing on? Broadly speaking, and it was the game book and my novel. I'm going to be launching a novel next year, hopefully, maybe not, hopefully, called the Grimace, the Legends of Grimace Ironblood. I'm actually converting that into a novel. Now I'm 30,000 words into that, so hopefully I'll finish it, but for next year. Hypothetical question: if I made plain donuts, would they still be jammed? Absolutely. But even if they weren't, I'm sure they'd still be delicious. This is controversial though. Who likes custard in their donut? No. That's like pineapple on the pizza. That's pineapple on the pizza gate. That's what that is. I do like the van donuts though as well. The actual van donuts that you get from a van. Oh, mama. No wonder there was a summon sign drawn in the soapstone chalk in front of the train on the door that says "Summon Zaradine." Any donut is a good donut. Well, I do remember back in the day, 1991 it was. I was 18, just a young, naive 18-year-old looking for adventure. Going to Camp America. I'd got a job on a camp in America just outside Boston. And I remember, you know, you get to know each other, all the counsellors, all the instructors of the camp. And I hooked up with a lady, hooked up with a girl, and she said, "Come on, on our time off, let's go to let's go get some donuts." I was like, "Oh, okay," because it wasn't a thing over here back then. You know, we had donuts, but we didn't have shops. This was an actual shops. It was Dunkin' Donuts. I was like, what is this place? You know, and they had all different types of donuts. And I was like, this is incredible. And the stereotype police officers at the donut shop, they were there. And they had a drive-through, and there was a police car that was just pulling up to do a drive-through. And I was like, this is amazing. And not only that, it was 24 hours. No, I don't think Dunkin' Donuts was, but there was like a local donut shop that was, local to that area. For local people, I think it was called 24-hour... I think it was called the Donut Tree. Oh, I think it was called the Donut Tree. And it was 24 hours. And of course, because we worked on a camp, we didn't finish... we put the kids to bed at like 9 o'clock. So our free time was like from 9 o'clock till, the morning. So we would go off. We'd get in a car. We'd drive up to the 24-hour donut place. Sit and have some donuts inside. It was like a cafe really, but it just sold donuts. And coffee and tea. Well, coffee. Didn't really have tea. So there we go. I'm very partial to chocolate donuts. Yeah. I'm with you on that one, Lee Rin. Chocolate. I'm happy with chocolate. Well, I'll allow you the chocolate donut. So it's been as I say, we are 102% funded, which is fantastic. £2,059. Thank you so much. I'm an unknown author, so I'm very, very happy with that. And now Jam is here. I can repeat this as well. Jam is also funded. I think you're on about 112%, I think, last time I looked, which is absolutely amazing. Over £1,500. So, because we were talking, Jonathan said that there's one RPG launched on Kickstarter every single day, which is an incredible amount. I don't think game books are as much as that. And as proof in terms of there's enough market, there's enough people out there wanting to play game books that both of our projects funded, even though they overlapped. I did slightly worry about that. I thought, oh, am I taking Kickstarter people away from Jam, and is Jam taking Kickstarter? I guess it balances out. And ours are probably very different, aren't they? Yeah, yours is more paranormal, and mine's more the traditional fantasy. So yeah. You got £210 for the second stretch goal. That's fantastic. So you've hit 2 of your stretch goals. That's brilliant. That's really good. Yeah, so the other projects I've started to work back on, because I'm not going to start writing. I've got a bit of freelance graphic design that I'm doing that's paid work, so that takes priority. It's a couple of books that I'm typesetting and doing the covers for. And then once I've done that, I should start writing again the game book in November. That's the plan. It might be mid-November. And then I'm just going to just if I can do, I don't know, 10 entries a day, that's probably very doable, isn't it? That's not a lot. So maybe 50, 100. No, it wouldn't be 50. Yeah, maybe 10. I don't know, I've never written a game book before. But I do like to put a strict sort of work ethic in place to get it done. because I do need to get it done relatively early, because I've said May 2025 that is the launch date as such. That's where you'll get the goods. I do need it to be play tested, so obviously I need to leave maybe a month for people to play test it, and then I've got to get it to the printers and get it back from the printers. We've been up against Fighting Fantasy board game as well. Is that also, yeah, because that launched, I noticed that launched as well, yeah, the Advanced Fighting Fantasy. We've all funded though, so I see little competition. Yeah, I guess there are three, because yours is paranormal, mine's more traditional sort of Fighting Fantasy territory. However, theirs is a sort of game, isn't it? So again, that's different. That's going to raise the most money because it's a known brand. But yeah, it's great that we've all funded. So the other thing that I've started to do, because of my high hard drive corruption, I did lose on file the prototype of my murder mystery game. My murder mystery game. Luckily, I've got it as a prototype. So I scanned the pieces of the board. Yeah, I've got 9 pieces of the board into my computer. I've scanned all the character cards. I've scanned the on your turn. And I've also scanned each room. So when you open and unlock a new room, you discover who's in there, what's in there, what clues are in there. And so I'm having to then convert it back to digital files. Because the next round of my murder mystery game is making the game shorter in length to play. So what I'm going to do is, at the moment, this was based off of the last playtest, there was 15 locations. So one way to make the game shorter is to cut 3 locations. So there's only going to be 12 locations. But what that does mean is I do need to kind of make sure that I'm not cutting clues that are vital to the actual solving of the murder mystery. So I have to go the long-winded way and scan everything in again, then go back through it all and then look at which clues I can cut and which, forensics I can cut and all of that. All boats ride with the tide, or something like that. Yeah, I kind of feel like that, especially in the gaming community. People that are into the board gaming and card gaming and RPGs and game books. They're very, very generous. They do want everybody to succeed, and they're collectors as well. So it's like, oh, I collect Fighting Fantasy books, but however. What are these Lone Wolf ones, and what are the Ace game books, and what are the Savage Realms, and what's the, literary? I never remember your series, immersive literary. There we go. What are the immersive literary game books? I do think people, and I think with game books and board games, people do jump around. Look at me, like I'm an old granddad. So they will try other brands. I think with RPGs, because it's a system, I might be completely wrong, I don't know. But if you get hooked into that system, are you going to try another system so easily? I don't know. They've been around longer, so have a big following. Yeah, the algorithms may send notes. So, oh yeah, that's true. You and I are top 2 when I type game books. Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's great. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. Yeah, so if someone's specifically looking for a game book will come up. Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that, because also, yeah, at the bottom of my one, I noticed it says you may also like, and your name, your one's there as well. And I thought, oh, that's good, because hopefully people do scroll to the bottom and they see someone else's Kickstarter as well. Yeah, so that's the other thing that I'm trying to do, because I do want to keep Devilish Deaths going, because I really believe in this murder mystery game that I've created. And in a way, it's kind of like the prototype, the forerunner to my game book version of that, where I do an actual board game of my game book, and it'll be sort of similar mechanics. You could do cross-promotion updates. Ooh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So, because I do updates to the people that have backed my one. So, yeah, I could do an update saying, hurrah, you know, thank you for funding. Thank you for, you know, by the way, if you like this game book, you might want to check out Jams. It's not a rumour, Lee Rin. I've listened. Of late, there's an exciting rumour that the American Steve Jackson, yes, I've seen that, is collaborating with Sir Ian Livingstone on republishing the first one. Yeah, no, that's an actual fact, isn't it? Yeah. They haven't specified which 50, but yeah, that is great news, isn't it? That is absolutely fantastic news. Presumably that's just for the American market then. And they will surely honour the illustrations and do it correctly this time. Surely. Literary immersive game books, that's it. I only wrote first year at high school as a test to see if I could use KDP correctly. Then Louise Lee saw it and had a copy the next day. So it was all over the groups. Oh, okay, brilliant. He almost had a heart attack. But that's really nice. But that's what I'm saying. Fans of these genres, you know, they really want people to succeed. And Laura Lee, she's been very supportive of us and the Story Spark cards. Yes, it's for America. I know, I'm slightly jealous it's just for America because I've got a feeling they'll do a really, really good job with those game books. Yeah, thanks for confirming, Jonathan. Yeah, so like you, you know, I've got a billion ideas, billion projects I want to keep working on and finish. This is getting very close to finishing though, my murder mystery game. I've play tested it now twice with 2 sets of different people, and every single time I've made changes. I'm going to be making more changes for this, then creating a new prototype because it'll have a new board, and then I will then be playtesting it with more people, and then, you know, again making any changes, then playtesting again, making any changes, and then when I get to the stage where I'm not really making any changes anymore, then I'm going to start pitching it around, which will be next year now. So I'm excited about that. And I did have another idea for a board game. For a long time I've been wanting to do a paranormal board game, but I didn't quite know how to do it. And because I do mediumship and I tune into the spirits and all of that, I want it to be fairly realistic. But then when it's fairly realistic, it can be quite mundane. It's not like, oh, you know, when I tune in and there's a spirit talking to me, it's not like things fly off the table and the curtains rattle, you know, and the windows rattle and things smash. It's just very normal, you know. So I played a game, Vagrant Song, which is a dungeon crawl game that takes place on a train, and it's set in 1950s Americana, so it's all that sort of Cuphead type style art, you know, the Americana type style art. Yeah, we should definitely trade, Jam. That's a great idea, Jonathan. So what I'll do, Jam, is I'll email out to the people that have backed my one already a little advert for you, and then if you do the same for the people that have backed your one already, then that'll be great. Then we can, you know, hopefully people might go, oh, let me go and back that one. Yeah. It might work. We might get more backers. Martha, yes. No worries, Martha. We've got. I'll do another 10 minutes, I think. I did say, where's Martha? Where's Martha? Hope everything's all right, Martha. Oh, you had computer problems. That is a shame. That is frustrating. But presumably they're all right now. It's been fixed. So yeah, you can also do a thing where people who back both projects get something exclusive to each, but that's quite hard to manage. Ooh. What would we do with that then? So my first yeah, my first thought would be that I could give away another one of my audio stories. But yeah, that's maybe something Jam and I need to talk about then. Cuphead, that's classic Disney meets Chuck Jones, Steamboat Willie style. Yeah, it's really charming. Absolutely, Lewin, yeah. Yeah, it's really charming. So the game is in that style, and the characters, well, the players are vagrants, and you go through this train, and it's a campaign. So there's different chapters to the campaign, and you go through the train, and you come across ghosts. And I thought, yes, this is how I'm going to do a paranormal game. I'll do a dungeon crawl type game, and you are all characters are people that have special, like a clairvoyant, a tarot reader, a priest, a demonologist, to people that are connected to the paranormal world, and you've got a campaign to go through. So I've already started typing that up. What is wrong with me? Too many ideas. I've always had an idea for FF, but since it isn't likely, I might use it for my own series. Pity it had kick-ass title. Use it for your own series, yeah. Unless they're looking for new people, I don't know. Nowadays, they probably directly commission people. Audio storage is a good idea. Keep the rewards digital. Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. Yeah, that I think I kept that in mind when I was, your advice about anything that's digital is good, because it keeps the costs down, doesn't it, of production. So I did keep that in mind. Yeah. Specifics within the genre. Oh, okay. Yeah, that is a shame. It is a shame. Well, to be fair, I don't think I've hidden this. To Kill a Thief wasn't my first game book that I'd started writing. That was the Curse of the Pea Prophet, wasn't it? And yeah, so I'd got quite a lot into that. However, this is based on my idea that I had for Talisman, the board game Talisman game books. And I tried pitching it around, and I just couldn't get anywhere. Nobody replied to me. So I was a bit disappointed, because I thought, I'd love to write a Talisman game book. So I've just sort of converted it into my own game book. Yeah. Yeah. So, because I thought I really like what I've created for this Talisman one. And it was easy just to convert into my own world. So you will see it's not necessarily towards the end of the book, but certainly in the first 30 entries, you will see a few sort of Talisman references, for sure. Your game book is a lot of fun. The free sample is fun to play. Oh, thank you, Martha. I appreciate that. Maybe you and I could write 2 mini adventures, each in an anthology style, a bonus for backing both. We could do that. Yeah, we could do that. That may be not a bad idea, actually, because then it is game book specific, themed. What we could do then, but it could be digital though, because again, I'm aware that we've not planned for this cost, and if we haven't really smashed our targets, we might not have room in our budgets. So maybe it could be a digital, free digital 2 mini adventures. Yeah, just a PDF. Yeah, absolutely. We could try and do it for the Kindle, because I do want my one to be where you click on the link. Maybe, yeah. So PDF. Absolutely. So yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah. Okay, well maybe we should do that. Yeah, Kindle will be okay. Yeah. Yeah, we could do a PDF version and a Kindle version, because they are different file formats, aren't they? Kindle is... Oh, what is Kindle? It's like ODC or something, isn't it? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've ventured into the world of Kindle. And I'm aware that I want to launch my novel of my Magic and Monkeys as a paperback. That's not even on Kindle yet. So semi-cold tea. Yeah, so this other game the board game that I had an idea with is that, yeah, you're all investigators of the paranormal. Oh, and one character I came up with was the skeptic investigator. And I like the idea of setting it in the 19th century, because that's like peak spiritual awareness and investigating. And then, you know, throughout the game you'd have various different objects that you find, like the dowsing rods, the tarot cards, the crystal ball, Scully, yeah, exactly, like Scully. But then what I thought was that anybody could use any object. However, matching icons means, so if I was, say, the skeptic investigator, any object with my icon on, I get to use the maximum amount of what it does, because that is my tool. So, for example, I'm a specialist in the dowsing rods, for example, because I'm a skeptic, so I use dowsing rods. Whereas if I was the tarot reader, I can use the dowsing rods, but it's on the second power. Or even the third power. So there's 3 powers, if you like, 3 levels of each object. So if I was the tarot reader, dowsing rods I don't normally use, so they would be the weaker one. Good idea. Oh, thank you, Jonathan. Yeah. Then in between the campaigns, you can train. You can pay money to train, so then you could be trained in the dowsing rods and you get the second power. However, if you are the skeptic investigator, you already know how to use it, so you're using the top power. And vice versa. Oh, thank you, Martha. That's a good idea. If I was a clock, I could use a pendulum. Yeah. So, for example, if you're the tarot reader character and you come across a tarot deck, you know, within the game, you are expert in that, so you get the top power. But if I was the skeptic and I came across the tarot cards, yeah, I'd get the untrained one, the lowest one. But then when the first chapter finishes the campaign, I train in using the tarot cards. I'm not as good as the tarot reader, but I'm pretty good now. I'm trained. Yeah, so I thought that would be quite a nice little touch with the objects, yeah. Oh, that's a novel idea. Reading. Oh, I'm sorry. I misread your one. Let's do it again. Reading. It's a novel idea. Need another drink. Yes, sorry. I sort of misread that. I thought you said that was a good idea. That what I was explaining. Of course, my ego would go to that naturally. But Jonathan thinks that's a good idea. Yeah. Oh, I see. I missed your... Oh, I see. Martha has spent all day reading. It was bound to happen. That's fantastic, Martha. Yeah, I love that. If I have time, just sit, kick back. Yeah, so I've got nice little touches like that in the game. And again, I don't know about the manufacturing cost, but I'd like to have, say, 4 chapters or 5 chapters. Maybe it would be 6. Maybe the boards could be double-sided, but then you have several boards. Whereas with the way they've done this is all of it takes place on a train. So it's the same location. Now that's fine and it works. Now I've only played 1 chapter of this Vagrant Song. And I just felt, yeah, but I'd like different locations. I'd like to see a different... So I've worked out a very loose story where you start in a village And then you get to another, then, you know, you come out of the village, you go to another location, then you go to another location. So I'm not sure how that they would do that in terms of, you know, expense. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But at the moment, I've just done my what I know document. So when I start a new game, board game or card game or whatever it is, tabletop game, or even any new project, I have a what I know document. And that normally comes from the scraps of paper that I've been writing the ideas on as it's come to me. And then I type it up as what I know. And it's just all of that put onto a document. Now, it might run into 20 pages, it might be 5 pages. And then what I do is I then do a sort of first draft of the rules from that, if it's a game. Because, you know, I sort of go, right, setting, this is the setting. Players, what are the players? The players are a priest, you know. Then I'll go, the setup, how do you set the game up? Then I'll go, what do you do on your turn? And I kind of refine it like that. Now, again, I got this Adam in Wales Board Game Designer Journal, which isn't specific to a board game itself. It's more about working on you as a game designer. However, I have got another game that I've been developing. I can't remember if I've told you about it or not. And I've used the spare bits of paper that they have for notes, because I didn't have anything else on me. All my notes for this game. So look at all of that. And this is the notes that I've not even written up. I've got a what I know document about that game, and now I desperately want to type all these up and put it into that what I know game. Too much going on. Can I clone myself? So yeah, this is why I need to stay focused, because the next project to finish is definitely to kill a thief. Some people have actually asked for another Jamology. I had 2 planned, but wished a third. I never know how to pronounce that. Nemine book. Elder Masso deserves her own backstory like Malika. Exactly. So you've got lots of different ideas for game books, and you're like, well, I was going to do that, but people have been asking for this. What do I do? Yeah, but that is kind of good. That, you know, you've got ideas. You know, we shouldn't really complain, should we? Because we're never going to run out of projects to do. And Martha's like that. Yeah, I know you've got about 20 odd projects on the go. You've got ideas. I guess really ideas are the easy part, really, aren't they? Am I correct in saying that? Need to keep the punters happy, yeah. Oh, Jonathan's put here, I want to turn Ronin 47 into a trilogy, but nobody's asked for that. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. I guess I don't know if Ronin was too far different from the other ones. I don't know how it's sold, so maybe I'm talking rubbish here, Jonathan. But maybe it's too far different. So people that bought Alice might buy Dracula, but they're not necessarily going to buy Ronin, and vice versa. I don't know. I thought of something the other day that might be good for you, Jonathan, but I can't remember what it was. Sorry. Run a poll, yeah, a bit of market research, yeah. There are people who have not bought it, despite liking all my other game books, because it's sci-fi, not fantasy. Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah. And it's weird, because normally in a bookshop, they lump sci-fi and fantasy together, don't they? Sometimes sci-fi and horror together. And just because I read horror, I don't want to read fantasy, or I read fantasy, I don't want to read horror or sci-fi. But they do lump it together, so it is an interesting thing. But it has nothing but 4 and 5 stars. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you need to back that up then with other sci-fi titles. It's a bold move. Because then what you'll develop, I guess, and I know nothing, remember that, you might then start building up your sci-fi fans, and you've got your fantasy fans and your sci-fi fans. I guess, is it the same? Okay, it's like Warhammer. You got Warhammer, the original one, which was the fantasy one, and then Warhammer 40k, which is the sci-fi version. And isn't the sci-fi version more popular? Sci-fi is also fun too. Just look at the Treasure Planet and adaptation of Treasure Island. Yeah, that's a very good point, Martha. Yeah. I'm not a fan of fantasy, although I enjoy writing Phoebos 4, as it was only 60-odd references. Oh, okay. Oh, so you're not a fan of sci-fi. I was going to say, Phoebos 4 sounds more sci-fi. Yeah, you're not a fan of sci-fi, but you... Yeah, and I think that's... There are some people that like both. Like, I like reading sci-fi and I like reading fantasy. I went through a phase. I've got a lot of the Masterworks novels. Philip K. Dick. Who else? I can't remember now. But then went back to fantasy. So I do like sci-fi. I have some very strange ideas, such as Dante's Inferno done as a death race with a That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Again, it's that my publisher side of me is coming out going, that would be amazing. Is there an audience for it? But I guess you don't know until you try it. I don't know. Whereas if you did a more classic Dante's Inferno, that might sell more. I don't know. 40k basically started as a Tolkien factions in space, and then it expanded far beyond the scope of Celtic North. Oh, okay, yeah. I thought there was some fantasy elements in that sci-fi one. In 40k, you can just write it, but it makes you hesitant if the feedback doesn't come back. Yeah, that is true. And you've also got an artist in mind for it. Well, fantastic. It feels like you're edging towards that then, Jonathan, doesn't it? It feels like you're just slowly creeping towards that project. 9 circuits of heavy metal heck. Yeah. Heavy Metal was that magazine, wasn't it? That fantasy magazine as well. Unless you actually mean heavy metal. Then Spinal Tap, Literal Stairway to Heaven. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, music to play game books by. That's still way down the list. Yeah, I know. I feel for you. All those projects. Fantastic. One guy asked for last year at high school to be written. Oh, your last year. Okay. Might save that for an anniversary. Yeah, so a last year of high school. Yeah, I guess shenanigans happen. I want to do the first 2-player Ace game book and the first open world Ace game book before that. Very interesting. 2-player game book. How the hell does that work? What? No, don't tell me if it's kind of like you've worked out a system and you want to keep it under wraps, but I don't know how you do that. 2-player. The only way I can think of it is one of you's DMing and one of you's playing, but... Well, you'd have to have 2 copies, wouldn't you? I don't know. I don't know, Jonathan. Like Clash of the Princes. Oh, okay. You can either play against the book or against a friend. Ah, of course. That's how you do it. So you... Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds cool. Yeah, well, those... Yeah, those definitely seem like a more marketable, safer option than crazy 70s psychedelic stuff. But, yeah. Yeah, because that's to do with the mechanics, isn't it? Kind of want a game book of Treasure Island. Love the book so much. I have 7 different cover versions. Yeah, Treasure Island would be a good one. Absolutely, Martha, yeah. Oh, look at that. Jonathan's put Treasure Island of the Undead is another game. Oh, look at that! Jonathan, look, Martha, look, you're in sync! Treasure Island of the Undead. Now that sounds very sellable. Absolutely is on your list, yeah. Can you give us a little exclusive what the next one is, or want to read it so badly? Yeah, I could see Treasure Island of the Undead Yeah, I'd back that, definitely. Treasure Island, that would be a big seller. I mean, I know nothing, but it's got all the right ingredients, hasn't it? It's an island, there's treasure, it's a bit of fantasy, it's undead, it's a bit supernatural, zombies. Yeah, would all work. So that's 3. You got 3 backers already, Jonathan. Marvelous, but I need that in my life. No, because I don't know. Oh, okay. There you have it. We've got an exclusive. Jonathan has no clue what he's going to do next. That's it. Of course, if you had a very, very, very successful Shakespeare vs Cthulhu and another paying gig to do first. So Shakespeare vs Cthulhu, of course, that's coming out. Undead parrots singing spooky shanties. Yeah, you can have an undead parrot. You can have an undead parrot as a companion. That would be amazing. That would creep me out so much. Yeah. Oh, there's so much you could do with that. That is a great idea, Jonathan. And that is why you're the master of the game books. They really need to commission you to do another Fighting Fantasy game book, don't they? Come on. The fans want it. The book I've just finished has a sea shanty in it. Hey! Can we sing of Wellerman? I don't know what Wellerman is. That? Is it that one? Is that what that's called? I never knew what that's called. We changed the lyrics, obviously, as kids, to a rather rude version. No. Oh, that's Hornpipe. Oh, okay. Didn't know. Look at you. Look at you with your sea shanty knowledge. When have you ever needed that to know that, Jonathan? So you're just queuing up, getting your pasta and your pot noodles. Bib, did you know that? Is that how you... Bit of small talk. Now you all got me singing sea shanties, yeah. Do your hang low. Can you tie him in a bow? Can you... what do you consider, Jonathan here, what do you consider a reasonable time to produce a book? I've asked this. Kickstart funding to completion. I've given myself a year, and I can do it in half the time. Well, that's very wise. Just ghosts from Jonathan there. Oh, no. Happy smiles. What are they? Are they ghosts? Happy smiles? As you can see, I'm an old man who doesn't know modern emojis. I think a year is very sensible, under promise and over deliver. Yeah. Well, I've given myself 6 months, so not as much. May. But I think I can do it in that time. Oh, is there a robot? Who's it, a robot? They're laughing robots on your computer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they don't quite look like robots to me, but hey, yeah, I'll go with that. Yeah, so that's why I think, yeah, well, what was it, May 5, 6, I've given myself 7 months. I've written 30 already, but I've also got to do the illustrations. Gockles note, yay! Oh, he's looking a bit, he's falling asleep. Is he falling asleep? He's falling asleep. Thank you. That's good ethic to go by. Yeah. What rang through my head as well, though, was Jonathan said. So when we did the Story Spark cards, the first one, the Mythical Creatures deck, we actually finished everything. We finished the whole deck pretty much as the Kickstarter launched. So we knew that we just needed to send it. If it funded, just send it to the printers and then ship it out to people. And that worked really well because there was no pressure. We'd done it. The second one, we were under more pressure. Well, Rich was really. It almost broke him. To be fair, he worked his bloody socks off getting the illustrations done. And of course, that then delays the project. Yeah, Jonathan's, but I prefer to write my next anger, before it launched on Kickstarter. And I remember you saying that. And I wanted to do that with this game book. I wanted to get it kind of all done before the Kickstarter. However, my life just didn't allow that to happen. If I was writing full time, I might have been able to do it. But, I've got other things going on, which are my responsibilities I can't get out of. So it would be nice to do that, and I might aim for that next time, to at least have written the game book. Maybe not get all the illustrations done, but at least written the game book, because then you can deliver a lot sooner. So I was very aware that Jonathan said about momentum. So you launch a Kickstarter in October. Now I'm going to deliver in May. Are people still excited for it because it's been all those months since they backed it? I'd like to think they would be, but if you deliver in December, they're going to be slightly more excited because, oh great, I only backed this in October. But, you know, calm down here, art takes time. I know. It's just that I like to have everything all finished so that there's no problems. It's like, yeah, I finished it, it's all good. Anyway, Grockleson looks incredibly alert today. He's trying to hypnotise Martha. He does, doesn't he? It's very intense. Yes. Excited to see your game book. Oh, well, thank you, Martha. Yeah, maybe it's just in my head. Tavern on Gallows Hill, and its sequel took 4 months to finish typing up. Okay, so it is doable. Yeah, it's doable. They'd be excited and wishing to be the first group backers. Yeah, exactly. They will be the very first people. Anyone that's backed it, you're the ones that get to see the book first. And then obviously I'm going to release it on Amazon, because why not? But yeah, that will be maybe 2 or 3 months delay, you know, while I put it up onto Amazon. I'm going to, you know, make sure that the people that backed it and brought the project to life get a good run at it, you know, 2 or 3 months delay before it goes up on Amazon, just so you feel like you got your money's worth. Anyway, there we go. Look, we've been rambling for an hour and 15 minutes. It's been a fantastic chat. We better wrap it up. Let you get on with the rest of your day. I've got a game book to write, don't you know? Not like Magic Realms then. Yeah, very quickly, what happened with Magic Realms? That's out now, though, isn't it? Did that? Was there delays? And I've got a fantasy book to outline. Yes, Martha's got a fantasy book to outline. Jonathan's got maps to draw. Ooh, I need a drink. So there we are. Oh, it was released on Amazon before the backers, and it cost less. Ooh, that's not good. I take it that wasn't your decision. Because you're involved in Magic Realms, aren't you? Good night, everybody. Go and have a quick dinner. Yes, fantastic. Yeah, that could leave a bitter taste in people's mouths, I think. Maybe they'll learn from that. Thank you, everybody that watched. Unbound are doing a good job of alienating their backers. Oh, was it Unbound? That's it. I knew it was slightly different. You were involved in it. Who wrote it? Oh, sorry. I get confused. Oh, it was the Dice Man. That was Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson. Sorry, I got confused. But I saw Ian Livingstone sort of promote it. I guess it's to do with him as well, isn't it? Because it's the artwork of Fighting Fantasy. Right, sorry, you wrote it. Were you involved with it? Yeah, I had something to do with it. Yeah, I might have written it. Not a lot, though. Heck of a nice book, though, yeah. So that was not your decision, I would imagine. Unbound, yeah, why do that? That's naughty. That's very naughty. And if I backed the project, I'd be quite angry with that, to be honest. Unless you're getting loads of other stuff with the backing one. Anyway, hopefully it won't tarnish your reputation, Jonathan, but more Unbound. No, it was not my sin. No, I know. I didn't think it would be. You just wouldn't do that to your backers. No, absolutely. But Jam has said it's a heck of a nice book, though. I can imagine it is. Fantastic. Well, there we go. We better wrap it up. Thank you so much, Jonathan. Thank you, Jam. Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Leerin. Thank you, Jam. Have I said that already? Who else has commented? I think that's everybody that commented. Did Colin sneak in? No, I don't think Colin watched today. Thank you so much. If I haven't said your name, I do apologise if you did comment. Ciao. And thank you if you were watching but you didn't comment. absolutely welcome. If you do want to see any of these live streams back again, you can watch them on the Twitch channel, or you can pop over to the Edra Tales YouTube channel if you prefer that. Give me a subscribe. We are 99 subscribers. Woohoo! Whereas the Bottled Imp, if you do want to see my other YouTube channel, which is slightly more successful, the Bottled Imp, we've got over 8,500 subscribers. We've got over 450 videos, book reviews, film reviews, board game reviews, all fantasy related. Go check that out. And yeah, thank you so much, arrivederci. And our next live stream is going to be Wednesday, 6:30 PM. The Ghosts of Craven Manor, Part 3. If you haven't watched Part 1 and 2, they are up on both Twitch and Edra Tales YouTube channel. Or, if you can't be bothered to watch that, I'll give a little brief summary at the beginning on where we are. Thank you, Martha. I knew I'd missed somebody out. Thank you, Martha. Have a lovely day. Take care. And remember, may your thieving never be caught.